The owner of this dog noticed a human baby's hand beneath her after the dog gave birth. One of the world's most kind, considerate, and emotionally savvy creatures is the dog. They attempt to be excellent parents from the moment they bring their puppies into the world, and they care for them just like any other adult human would. When China, an Argentinian dog, gave birth, this was the situation. But when her owner went to look at the new litter of puppies, she discovered something startling and unanticipated. China was a beautiful and well-mannered dog. She had always been comfortable around people and had always enjoyed the attention of humans. She couldn't have been any more placid and subdued if she tried. Though she did enjoy socializing both with other dogs and people, the gorgeous dog lived on the outskirts of a large Argentinian city with her owner, who saw China as her pride and joy. It was much to China's owner's surprise when she noticed her dog was pregnant, expecting a large litter of puppies. She went to have it confirmed by a vet, who told her that she would be expecting 7 or 8 babies within the next month. It was a surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one. Although this was China's first litter, and she had never given birth before, her owner was certain that she would have natural maternal instincts and grow into an incredible mother. China's owner actually understood that she was a kind and caring dog at heart because of the way she behaved with other animals. China would handle any animal, be it the friend's puppies or the neighbor's cat that had strayed into the garden, with gentleness, compassion, and respect. It was always rather heartwarming to watch a dog that seemed to be in such peace with everything that lived around it. The owner of China had no idea how much that love and compassion would reach. The puppies she would be giving birth to quickly caused the dog's tummy to swell. China gave birth to 7 small kids after a sleepless night. It was a marvel that they all lived. With a litter this size, 1 or 2 usually don't. However, China must have been smiling down on someone since all 7 of her puppies managed to survive. China's owner was ecstatic and lavished care on her and her babies. Though it was China's first litter, she made sure to give her additional attention because she knew she could find it difficult to handle their enthusiasm and feed them all. Fortunately, she had no trouble with the work at hand. China was a mother by nature. She was fully capable of taking care of the puppies from the time they were born, including nursing, which is a skill that surprisingly few dogs are able to perform on their first few attempts. China was let to go around the field just past the garden while the veterinarian was summoned out for a house visit and examined the puppies. She enjoyed running and extending her legs. It was her favorite activity. After 30 minutes, while China's owner was watching the veterinarian leave, she heard the dog door flutter open. China had clearly just returned from her field adventure. After spending the last 30 minutes with the puppies, the veterinarian departed, and China's owner went upstairs to her bed. When she called out to China, she promptly ran to the foot of the steps and gave her owner a quick glance, perhaps saying good night. The owner had no idea what she would find when she awoke in the morning. The air was full with screaming. The owner of China snapped her eyes up and paid close attention to the sound of a frightened youngster. It was obvious that the weeping was coming from within her own home, which instantly worried her. She threw on her dressing robe and raced downstairs to investigate the disturbance. However, she was shocked and confused by what she saw when she entered the room where China and her puppies were residing. A small human hand, a baby's hand, protruded from behind the lovely mess of fur and paws as the pups were in their customary pile, eating from China. The proprietor gasped for air and stopped dead in her steps. Why was a human infant present? In a hurry, the owner carefully removed the infant from the puppy litter. China observed indifferently, appearing satisfied that she had fulfilled her responsibility to tend to the helpless youngster. She'd washed it with her tongue and kept it warm. China realized that the baby still needed love, care, and attention, even though it wasn't her own. However, from where on earth had the infant originally come? The owner of China had no knowledge at all. She carried the infant to the authorities, telling where and how she had found it, and wrapped it in a lovely cotton blanket. They soon launched a national quest to locate the mother. But even after several weeks of pleading and looking, they had not come any closer to learning who the unfortunate child's parents were. However, they had succeeded in deciphering the sequence of events and how China came to be the baby's caregiver. They determined that the infant was 6 weeks old at that time. The police wondered if the youngster was the product of an unintended pregnancy, because it was discovered in a field on the outskirts of a city where adolescent and underage conception was common. China had slipped, and the mother must have left the infant in a field. By looking at the tiny bite marks on the back of the baby's neck, it was clear that China had scooped the youngster up and taken it to her litter when the infant was out and about. After that, she took care of it and kept it safe for the entire night, treating it like her own until her owner found out the previous night. While her owner was seeing the veterinarian out of the home, she must have sneaked the youngster through the dog door with her. China had coiled herself around the infant, even putting it to sleep. The baby had turned over in its sleep, moving itself away from the other puppies and toward the edge of the mattress. When China woke up, she saw that the baby had moved away, stooped down, and approached her. She then gently pushed the baby back into the middle of the bed and into the group of pups that were fast asleep. China realized that if the unfortunate youngster slid out of bed much more, it may get ill or perhaps harmed, therefore she couldn't allow it get cold. When the baby began to stir and the first rays of dawn light filled the room, she stayed curled about her litter and the infant. Subsequently, when giving her own puppies their morning milk, she tenderly cuddled the infant and affectionately licked its face and head. China didn't care in the slightest that the child wasn't her own. It mattered that she took care of it. It was genuinely a selfless gesture from a devoted dog. Fortunately, the infant was quickly adopted and grew up in a loving environment, becoming a responsible and kind adult. Her new family wanted to concentrate on her future, so they quickly forgot about the trauma of her early years. They knew the tale, of course, but they didn't believe it would help their adoptive daughter to know where and why she had been abandoned. But without fail, they would send China things for her birthday and Christmas, and she would be overjoyed to receive candies and toys. Nobody would ever forget what China did for this kid. It had very little chance of surviving if Mother hadn't spotted it and returned it to her brood of puppies. It's quite likely that the infant would have perished in the field by itself. In Argentina, China was acclaimed as a hero and was given a special award in appreciation of her courage and role in saving a life. Without hesitation, China had given the kid all the care and nourishment it required to survive, acting on instinct rather than hesitation. What are your thoughts on this incredible tale? If you had been China's owner and found an abandoned human infant among her puppies, how would you have responded? Please feel free to share your ideas and opinions with us in the space provided for comments below.